Again, the context is based on that story we had of that gentleman who has been in court for 33 years. Na watu wanamgeuzia, watu wote wanamgeuzia ni majudges. Even the institutions that are supposed to be integrity full, such as the banking institution, wao na wao ni nani? Corruption tupu. Pesa inaungwa left, right, center ni kama ni pocket change in millions of dollars. Simply because you want to defraud somebody and frustrate them because they have a different opinion by then. That conversation gets late 80s, springs all the way to 2025 as we speak. I'm more sure. But then we are here telling ourselves we love our country. Oh, sijui nini ni yule mwenye kutenda haki. Naima munapenda hiyo wimbo sana. Suddenly you become patriotic. Suddenly you become Kenyans. In fact, some of you sleep and wake up with bracelets that have the Kenyan flag. Nina rant because, Shanti, we live in a country that we pretend to love our country, but we are the very people that decide this country should not prosper because we adore corruption. We adore bad leadership. We even speak loud about how we want to change this country and the way the current leadership have to go home and then. Lakini uongo mtupu, pretenders. We pretend. If you can pay someone so that a case that involves rape is dropped, you will do it because it's your brother. Unajua tu ndugu yako ameua mtu vizuri tena sana, lakini kwa sababu ni ndugu yako, you want to cover the shame, utaficha aibu. You will not call them out. You know your pastor has been sodomizing boys in church, young boys who cannot defend themselves, but because ni your spiritual father, hatuwezi ruhusu shetani amtumie vibaya anavyomwaibisha, kwa munaenda munaweka vikwazo, kesi inarushwa nje because you want to speak in tongues. Pastor wako nimesema mchungaji ule mwana vango ya white alafu anaweka hapa kitu ya black alafu anaanza kusema rakabababatangala. Uongo mtupu. They cannot walk freely and just be like some of us and say we love God and we love our country and we are living life. No. Wanna speak in tongues. They are the very people that go and inaugurate leaders that are corrupt to the core and call them God chosen. God chosen. They will line up widows on the street with no shame. Widows, wajane. They tell widows to sell their property so that they can come and... Leo ninasikia ni kama tunaudhiana kidogo, lakini manko wenyu, we must talk about these things. This is the social room. On the social room, we have to be authentic with what we are discussing, because these are the things that are killing this country. They are killing this country. Wewe unajua ndugu yako ni mwizi, anaibia watu simu, lakini unamwambia bro, nitafutie simu yangu, unajua simu yangu imebeat, so nitafutie noma yenye kwa market. No, unajua anaenda kuiba. And then you are there telling me, oh, our president is corrupt. Bwana, president mgani na wewe ni part of the team? Which president? Which minister? We are pretenders as a country. We pretend that we want the best for this country. No, we want an opportunity to go on the table so that we can all steal or eat. Umeona Doti, kuna pastor aliosha a widow and the lady has gone back to zero. Pastors, and I'm not saying pastors are supposed to be beyond reproach, but if they are standing on the premise of leadership, which is leading, I want us to define the word leadership. Let us define the word leadership according to existing definition. Okay? Leadership is defined as the ability of an individual, group, or organization to lead, influence, or guide other individuals, teams, or organization. Mumesikia kitu nimesema? So we've come to a point in this century whereby as long as an idiot flaunts around money, anaitwa mheshimiwa, honorable. And some of you love those names. There's nothing of honor you've brought to this country or the constituents you serve, but you die to be called an honorable member. These are... So when we talk about leaders and leading, we miss the point when we imagine that these people should be given, a latitude to error because they are human. That is the reason why that era of human has caused problem in Nepal. For those of you who are following news, Nepal saizi kuko kumoto because of bad leadership. The Arab Spring did happen and casualties came out of it because of leadership deficiency. 2024 25th June happened in Kenya and people died. Today as we speak, people died. We are speaking about a dysfunctional healthcare system in the country where you don't know if you will go to hospital to die or if you'll go to hospital to make them rich, because those are the only two constants. We are speaking of a system where affordable housing collects money from the poor of the poorest on their paycheck, the working people, the working Kenyan. 6 billion monthly. 6 billion, and they cannot effectively account for the units they have made. And even if they try to, all that is balderdash. We hate our country so much that you won't feel an inch of a problem if you saw the neighbor next door dying so that you can buy their piece of land. In fact, unaulizanga, mnaweza kuwa labda mmelemewa, mniuzie shamba yenyu. By the way, tumekuwa wajinga sana kama nchi. And if we are going to change the way we see and value this country, we must agree on one thing, that all of us should be willing to let go of our comfortable rooms where we only think about me. The me thing is what is killing this country. Imagine a government asking for something in return ndio akupee job. Niliamua kufanya kazi supermarket. I hear you, Doti. That is how bad it is. But and you know, I'm going to just put in some spanner into the works of what you've said. That we are okay paying off to have these jobs. I mean, we've normalized it. If you don't have it, they say we're una connection. Okay? I started by saying even the most qualified in this country cannot secure a job because ni nchi ya kitu kidogo. And then we dare say we'll be going to court to compel for integrity nonsense to happen. What are you telling me? I mean, I love the fact that they are doing that because it is the most sensible thing to do to divert attention from the very things that are biting us. And I know corruption is a big issue. It is a big issue. It is a big issue. I've had enough disagreements with my peers when I tell them I am not willing to pay for a bribe in order to get a simple document such as a passport. How many Kenyans pay 10K to access a passport that is before was 3,000? Today it's maybe 7,000 shillings. But how many Kenyans were paying 10K for that stupid thing? Something that you shouldn't even be discussing with someone about it. Mimi kama anko wenyu leo nimekasirika. You see? 10K. Like, I am not just talking about things that I'm, in a room and I feel like I'm holier than thou and I must mention them. This is the social room. So we have to discuss the social issues that have been occasioned by the leadership that we fronted and the people that we are. So who is willing to turn around and start discussing about good leadership? I don't think it's you and I who believe if we are given the opportunity, we will also toka kwa block. People see government jobs as an opportunity kutoka kwa block. Not because they'll be working hard. In fact, I've heard a lot of painful statements that are said about Gen Zs. That Gen Zs do not love to work. Gen Zs show only to work 3 hours wameenda. Lakini hizi nyang'au zingine tunaita sisi millennials. How many of us went to office, put our jackets on the seat and left that office? The boomers. How many? Unaingia amodosi hayuko, labda urudi saa 8. Wacha namba tutakupigia. How many? And we dare condemn the generation that wants to account for every minute they spend in an office. You have 7 hours or 8 hours to work, 40 hours in a week to work. And even if you accumulate your hours of work against the productivity, we cannot quantify it. And we dare say, our Gen Z hawapendi kazi. But monkey see, monkey do. Nimekasirika na naomba munisamee kwa leo. Let me take a break.
I asked who started the fighting, and I asked who started the war.